Hello again. Welcome. How are you today? Welcome to a new class. Welcome to class number 1052. Siempre me río ahora cuando veo esos números. I always laugh whenever I see the number. I laugh. Whenever. Whenever is cuando quieras. Puedes venir cuando quieras. You can come whenever you want. Ahora, whenever también es siempre que le veo, se está riendo. Whenever I see him, or every time, or whenever. Whenever I see the number, I start laughing. It's too much. Ya está bien. Es un empacho de inglés aquí. It's too much. Come on. I promise that at 1,200, the party's over. Así se acabó. The party's over. Yes. Apague y vámonos. The party's over. But in any case, for the moment, it's not over. We're still in the middle of the party. So let's have some fun. All right. Gain fluency. 2 more paragraphs from yesterday. Page 73 at the bottom. The next to last. Me gusta ese párrafo. I'll explain why when I finish. You're such a nice person. You're such a nice person that a lot of people take advantage of you. You have such a warm heart, and you're such a trusting person that you're an easy target for con artists. Okay. Such. 3 veces aparece such. Eres una persona tan maja. You're such a nice person. Eres tan majo. You're so nice. Eres una persona tan maja. You're such a nice person. You're such a nice person that a lot of people take advantage of you. Se aprovechan de ti mucha gente. A lot of people take advantage of you. Why? You're so nice. You need to be less nice. Yeah, you're such a nice person. You're such a nice person. You are so nice. Claro, so cuando se dice solo el adjetivo. Pero si añadimos person después, so no nos vale. So precede adjetivos puros. No adjetivos más sustantivo. Such a nice person. Nice person, sustantivo. You're such a nice person that a lot of people, yo digo a lot of people take advantage of you. To take advantage of es aprovechar, en el buen sentido de la palabra, pero también aprovecharse de, en el menos bueno, o el menos buen sentido. Se están aprovechando de ti. They are taking advantage of you. They are taking advantage of you. Ahora, aprovechar. Tienes que aprovechar esta oportunidad. Eso es positivo. You have to take advantage of. And take advantage of, depending on the context, can be neutral or positive or negative. You're such a nice person that a lot of people take advantage of you. You have such a warm heart. Tienes un corazón tan cálido, caluroso. You have such a warm heart. And you're such a trusting person. Persona que confía. Trusting, que concedes confianza. My mother. Mi madre. Yo también lo he heredado. I inherited from my mother. We are very trusting. However, it's better to be trusting than to be distrustful. A trusting person, and a distrustful person. Fía, pero solo en Dios y en Santa María. All right. Desconfianza, seguranza. All right. Yes. It's very common here. But in life, in a long life, personal and professional, 40 years, 50 years, a trusting person wins, and a distrustful person loses. In short term, it depends. But in the long term, trusting people. Algunos se aprovecharán de ti, eso seguro. Me ha pasado a mí mil veces, no, pero sí. It'll happen to you. But you need to be trusting. You need to convey or to transmit confidence and not lack of confidence. You're such a nice person that a lot of people take advantage of you. You have a warm heart. Warm. Cold heart? No. You have a warm heart and you're such a trusting person that you're an easy target. Eres un blanco fácil. Target is el blanco. With the arrow. Target. To hit the target is done el blanco. Okay. To hit the target. And the center of the target is the bullseye. Ojo de toro. Bullseye. Bullseye. All right. Me encanta bullseye. Bullseye is the perfect in the target. Throwing darts, those dardos. Yes. And but you're such an easy target. You're such a nice person. You have such a warm heart. You're such a trusting person that you are an easy target for con artists. Con. Timadores. Or con artists. Te van a conear, se dice. To con. They'll con you. To con. Con viene de la palabra confidence. Ganan tu confianza y se aprovechan. Por eso, un artista de la confianza. Confidence artist. And we say con artist. And we say con man. This is very common in English, con man. That means a person, el juego de las estampitas, se dice, ¿no? These are con artists. They trick you. They fool you. Te engañan. Te embaucan. They fool you. They trick you. They are con artists. Con men. Confidence artists. You need to be careful, of course. You need to be careful. But you're such a nice person that a lot of people take advantage of you. You have such a warm heart, and you're such a trusting person that you're an easy target for con artists. Blanco fácil para esos, los embaucadores. Yeah. Which means, espabilate un poco. I mean, come on, wake up. I recommend that you continue being a nice person. I recommend that you continue having a warm heart. And I recommend that you continue trusting people. But be a little bit careful, okay? Okay, see? Yes. Not everybody is good. All right. Tres veces con such. This is a very interesting paragraph. Paragraph 659. Para ir sintiendo el uso de such y ganando confianza y agilidad con such. Yes. Estas luces son tan brillantes. These lights are so bright. Y hay para coma. So bright que no los aguanto. These lights are so bright that I can't stand them. Son luces tan brillantes. These are such bright lights that I can't stand them. So and such. All right, paragraph 660. 660. The bottom of page 73. They sent their teenage son to the U.S. for a study abroad program. The boy stayed with a religious family that said a prayer before every meal. He ended up becoming religious himself. Esto es raro. This is strange. This is quite common. Spanish parents send their teenage son or daughter to spend one academic year in the United States. Normally, the first year of the baccalaureate, when the child is 17, they send the the teenager, to England, but usually to the United States, to an American high school. And the teenager lives with a family. Quite often, the family is religious. Baptist, Lutheran, Presbyterian, Church of Christ, Mormon maybe. And it's more religious. The families here are not religious. Families in Spain, many people go to church and believe, of course, but they don't practice the religion at home. And in the United States, yes. And so before a meal, they say grace. To say grace, decir gracia. Say gracias, but we say to say grace. And it can happen sometimes. If you're visiting another family and you have dinner with the family, maybe the father says, Richard, would you like to say grace? ¿Sí? You have to dirigir el rezo, la oración tú. It's very simple, Father. Please thank you for this food and for our, etc. Amen. It's very, very short. So here, they sent, ellos, se entiende que es un matrimonio español, que mandaron su hijo a Estados Unidos. They sent, pasado simple, el año pasado, they sent their son. I sent my son. You sent your son. She sent her son. He sent his son. They sent their son. All right, they sent their son. Mecánica gramatical. Agilidad. They sent their son. I sent my son. You sent your son. She sent her son, etc. We sent our son. You need to have agility with this. They sent their son to the U.S., to the United States, to the States. They sent their son to the U.S. for a study abroad program, un programa de estudiar en el extranjero, for a study abroad, con guión, study abroad program. The boy stayed. To stay es alojarse, además de permanecer o quedarse. Quédate 10 minutos, por favor. Stay. Stay también es alojarse. ¿Dónde te alojaste? Where did you stay? Okay, the boy stayed with a religious family. Familia religiosa. The boy stayed with a religious family that said a prayer. Que decían una oración. They said a prayer before every meal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Wow. All right. He ended up becoming religious himself. Eso sí que es raro. El chico terminó siendo religioso él mismo. Adoptando la religión. He ended up becoming religious himself. There are quite a few religious families in the States. It's very common for Spanish teenagers to go to the United States and they end up, terminan alojándose, they end up. This is terminar, más otro verbo. Terminé enfadándome, terminé estando de acuerdo, terminé is end up, más gerundio. I ended up agreeing with her. I ended up coming to this studio. I ended up agreeing. I ended up going to it. So here the boy ended up becoming religious himself. To end up. Se usa más end up que end, sin up. To end is terminar. Cuando una cosa termina, no cuando una persona. Yo terminé mis estudios. I finished my studies. I ended my studies. No, I finished. Finish is a personal verb. I finish. What time do you finish? What time do you finish the program? I'm going to finish in about 15 minutes. About 12 minutes. I'm going to finish in about 12 or 13 minutes. I'll finish. This class will end in 12 minutes. So la clase end. Yo finish. Finish is a personal verb. End is impersonal. Ahora, end up is personal. En el sentido de que acabé yendo a la playa. Quería ir a la montaña, pero terminé yendo a la playa porque mi mujer quería ir a la playa. I ended up going to the beach. I ended up going to the beach. All right, they sent their teenage son to the U.S. for a study abroad program. For a study abroad. Abroad is en el extranjero o al extranjero. Voy a ir al extranjero. I'm going to go abroad. Vivo en el extranjero. I live abroad. I live abroad. She lives abroad. Ella vive en el extranjero. Porque el año pasado fue al extranjero. Because al extranjero, en el extranjero, ambos abroad. She lives abroad because she went abroad last year. And this is a study abroad, estudio en el extranjero. A study abroad program. The boy stayed. Recordad, stay es alojarse. Hospedarse, to stay. Y así se dice casi 100% de las veces, stay. I cannot think of an alternative. Fuiste a Sevilla. ¿Dónde te alojaste? Oh, you went to Seville. Where did you stay? I stayed in Marta's house. All right, her mother's house, her parents' house. I stayed. All right. So he stayed with a religious family that said a prayer. To pray is rezar, orar. To pray. Oración o rezo es prayer. Prayer, escrito con Y en medio. Prayer. Prayer. To prayer. To say a prayer. Say a little prayer for me. Una canción. Dice un pequeño oración por mí, por favor. Inclúyeme en tus oraciones. Right. Include me. I need help, Marta. Include me in your prayers, okay? Yes. Nigel Perkins. Nigel Perkins. Where do we have Nigel? Nigel Perkins. You remember Nigel Perkins? He's not the most exciting person in the world. But, however, he's a private detective. Private detectives are very interesting people. But he doesn't look like James Bond, right? No. No, he doesn't look like James Bond. All right. But he's a private detective. And what happened? Yes, aquí está en su mesa. Yeah, he's sitting at his desk. This week has been a busy one for Nigel. This week has been a busy week. Para evitar redundancia de week. This week has been a busy one for Nigel. He's had to work more. He's had to work more than usual, más que de costumbre. He has had. Todo es presente perfecto aquí. Ha tenido que trabajar. This week has been a busy one for Nigel. He has had to work more than usual because his company has discovered some very important evidence. Evidencia. ¿Qué significa eso? Evidence. En términos de criminología, evidence son pruebas. Pruebas para los tribunales, para los jueces o el jurado. Evidence. To find evidence. If Marta kills me, and I'm on the floor, dead, and Marta disappears, the detectives come and they check me and they look for evidence. They can point to Marta as the murderer. Yeah. Are you going to murder me? No. Dice que no. She says she's not going to murder me. Okay. To evidence. So, Nigel's a detective. He owns and manages a detective agency. All right. So, this week has been a busy one for Nigel. He's had to work more than usual because his company has discovered some very important evidence. 2 months ago, a large life insurance company asked Nigel's firm to investigate an unusual case. A 62-year-old man had died 6 months before, and his 32-year-old wife, an ex-model, had received $7 million from the insurance company. The man died of a heart attack. During the investigation, Nigel's company discovered that the woman had bought a large amount of medicine for people who suffer hemophilia. It's the worst kind of medicine for people who have bad blood circulation. Nigel was a good friend of the man who had died. He felt that it was his obligation to help personally in the investigation. All right. What we have here is Nigel normally delegates the day-to-day business to his team, to his subordinates. He doesn't get personally involved in the investigations now. But this is a different case. A 62-year-old man died 6 months ago. This man was a friend of Nigel's. And because Nigel personally knew the man who died, he has decided to get involved directly in the investigation. Now, what happened was this man died. He was 62. His wife was 32, 30 years younger. And she was an ex-model. And during the investigation, they discovered that this woman was going to the pharmacy and buying medication for hemophiliacs. People who suffer hemophilia, if you cut yourself, you start bleeding and you don't stop because the wound doesn't heal. You continue bleeding. So a hemophiliac needs medication or medicine that thickens the blood, que espesa la sangre. Now this man had heart problems and bad blood circulation. He needed the opposite. He needed medication to thin the blood. Hacer más líquida la sangre y no más espesa. However, his wife bought the opposite, and he had a heart attack and died. And so the investigation. Now, this man was rich. He had a lot of money. And he had a life insurance policy. In the life insurance policy, his wife was the beneficiary of the life insurance policy. And the life insurance policy, the proceeds lo que procede de la póliza de seguros de vida, la indemnización, $7 million. $7 million or 7 million pounds? $7 million. Si digo dollars es un error, debería ser libras. 7 million, but digo dollars. All right, $7 million. And so the insurance company, after paying $7 million to the woman, contacted Nigel's company to investigate this situation. And Nigel's company discovered the medication question. They went to several different pharmacies in the area where the man and his wife lived, showing pictures of the woman. And the pharmacist, some pharmacists recognized the woman. Oh, she comes from time to time, and she buys a certain type of medication for hemophiliacs. Then they found out that the wife was having an affair with a doctor. And the doctor was writing the prescription for hemophiliacs to take to the pharmacy. ¿Entiendes? They caught her. Red-handed. Ahora vendré, bueno, hoy no me va a tocar, hoy no tengo tiempo to teach red-handed, but they caught her. All right. So this is very important. Nigel has been very busy. Yes, why? Because he's personally involved in this particular investigation. because a friend of his died 6 months ago of a heart attack. A heart attack. And the insurance company paid the wife, an ex-model, 32 years old. They paid the wife $7 million. But at the same time, they contacted Nigel's company to investigate this situation. And Nigel's company has discovered important evidence, pruebas muy importantes, about the medication and things. So that's Nigel Perkins. We'll come back to Nigel another day. But they caught the woman and the doctor red-handed. Con las manos en la masa, red-handed was it. See you tomorrow.